And now we're about to experience Neptune's entry into Pisces. And of course, the orbit of Neptune is 165 years, so it's been a long time since this has happened. None of us alive now have had any experience with it, but we can anticipate a tremendous turning up of the volume, so to speak, on everything that is in the domain of the archetypes of Neptune and Pisces. And by the way, Neptune will cross into Pisces on the 4th of April, the coming year. So by the time Norway comes around again, we'll be there. It's not long. It stays there till August 4th of 11, retrogrades back into Aquarius for a while, and then on the 3rd of February of 2012, it moves solidly, definitively into Pisces. It will remain in Pisces for a long, long time. March of 2025, it will touch Aries. It will basically dance around the cusp, kind of in and out of Aries, between March of 2025 and January of 2026. So I suspect there'll be some of us here in the room today who don't get to enjoy Neptune in Aries. We're going to have quite a ride between now and then. Now, so we'll have this great pulse of the Neptunian archetype. We can count on that. What will it mean? I personally don't believe there is a future that is out there for us to divine somehow. This gets into philosophical territory, but I have no faith at all in the word fate. I'm not a fatalist at all. I'm more of a quantum guy or a Buddhist. I believe that consciousness interacts with archetypal fields and we create the realities we'll experience. So therefore I proudly say I have no idea what this is going to mean for us. I think it depends on us, not on some arcane analysis of what Pisces means or what Neptune means. That's philosophical. Everybody comes to their own conclusions. We will almost undoubtedly start with the garbage and then move on to the dessert. We will almost undoubtedly see escapism raised to an art form, as if, many of us might, having remembered the 60s, sort of, would think we had already seen that. I think it's fair to say we ain't seen nothing yet. In terms of designer drugs, in terms of virtual reality, already we're, HD TV, what about 3D HD TV, with your goggles on and the electrodes up your butt, and, what modern science is going to bring into your living room, And, if we don't like what's going on out there, all we have to do is plug into this electronic and perhaps pharmaceutically enhanced experience of an electronic reality, and we can just turn it all off. I can almost guarantee you're going to be seeing that stuff raised to an extraordinary level, not only of activity and action and manifestation, but even more chillingly of cultural acceptability. As we are in a collective period of feeling in a Neptunian Piscean mood, all of us. I think that there will be many who will think, well, this is just fine. And I guess the line is, who are we to judge? Well, I'm a Capricorn. A waste of an incarnation. Precious human birth, don't sit there with an electrode up your butt. That's my advice. Okay, then we turn it around. You've got kind of the other side. I still think of like the terminal New Agers, not just regular New Agers, but the truly terminal ones, everything is great, everything is positive, and so Neptune goes into Pisces. We're going to see the dawning of the age of, not Aquarius, but, the dawning of an age of peace, love, and understanding. We're talking, Britney Spears, clean and sober. As soon as Neptune hits that border, we're talking about Dick Cheney meditating. We're talking about Rush Limbaugh with a little gleam of compassion in his eyes. Paris Hilton gets over herself. I mean, it's going to be bad. Let's get Neptune into Pisces. Spiritual renaissance for one and all. Well, I kind of doubt that too. And that very negative interpretation, everybody's, kind of dropping out, tuning out. We'll see that, but that's not going to be the story either. It's like these are all pieces of the story. Pieces of the story. I think that there will be an incremental boost, just an incremental one, in the human fascination with consciousness itself. This cardinal cross affecting the collective. It's not yet at full power. Wait till Saturn joins the party in Libra. And here's a very ominous statement, although I think we can say some other things about it. I think that this summer humanity will begin to hurt enough. Now there's a scary line. The people who look to this thing to predict terrors, I suspect some of them will be accurate. I'm not so sure it will be economic. I know all the economists are, astro-economists are going crazy about what will happen. I think a lot of people tend to give an awful lot of power to money. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Lose my money. And so we ask them to project onto the inkblot test of astrology, what's a big nightmare scenario? Oh, economic downturn. But I think already we have some pretty good evidence that there's other things going on. Have you noticed the earth a little shaky lately? Yeah. Lord, and the volcanoes and all of that. I wouldn't be surprised we get some big stuff in the world in Avatar. It's fantasy. I'm assuming most of you have seen it. It's a paradise kind of community. I think Native Americans, as they have been mythologized, a very harmonious, earth-centered kind of culture, and of course, bad guys from Earth become involved, and there's the story, but magical kind of Gaia hypothesis society is the essence of it. And isn't this a mythic representation of what humanity actually once had? It's nothing fantastical except for the blue tails. Everything else is there in our junk DNA, as Tad put it, and our collective memory. We have this. Before we traded community with each other for shopping malls, we had Pandora. Before we traded enchantment for rational, reductionistic existentialism, before we traded the idea of people caring for each other for endless competition for crap we don't want, we have Pandora. Before we traded a sacred earth for an oil slick the size of Europe, we had Pandora, or Neptune in Pisces. Maybe we should be depressed, thinking about what we lost. I think we're about to realize that we hurt enough to change. I think we're about to realize that the real way forward, and really the only way forward, lies in embracing all the best that Neptune and Pisces can possibly embody. And I, for one, am not depressed about that.